Okay, so Arsenal player ratings. Arsenal versus Aston Villa 2-1. These are my weekly player ratings. I do this after every game, so definitely subscribe if you like these. But I give like in-depth player ratings. And let's just get right to it. So Aston versus Arsenal, Aston Villa, good game. You know, I thought the commentators really dogged Aston Villa out the whole game, but I actually thought Aston Villa played it smart. I mean, they were in the game the whole game. I think when you're a heavy like underdog, that's kind of how you have to play sometimes. So I actually thought Aston Villa were pretty dangerous, and they could have easily taken a point, and they almost did. But to the player ratings, Ramsdale gets a 7 for me, and I had him at like a 9 right up until he got scored on from a corner. And then I was just like, okay, yeah, if you get scored on from a corner as a goalie, you got to get a 7 for me. And I just have a hard time giving above a 7 if you get scored on really at all, unless you like save a penalty or something like that. So, but, you know, he overall he had a good game other than that one blip, which was weird. And I got to give him a 7 for that. It was a weird blip. I hope he just learns from that one. I don't want to hark too much on it because he had an overall good game. But, you know, as a goalie, obviously if he gets scored on, it's kind of an issue. But let's get to Ben White. So Ben White, 7.5. I thought he had a solid game. He wasn't at his best. I think might have just been the dynamic of the team. I think Aston Villa were more attack-minded on the right-hand side. So it kind of seemed like Ben White was just defending really for no reason. And I thought Arteta made the right change to put Tomi Yasu in eventually. I think he should have done a little bit earlier, but nonetheless, we'll get to that. But yeah, I thought Ben White overall had a solid game. I mean, he didn't really do whole lot wrong. It just wasn't his best game. But 7.5 is pretty much exactly average for me. Saliba gets an 8. I thought it was good. He had some really good tackles. Probably could have got a higher rating, but you know, I base defenders strongly on clean sheets. And granted, that goal was probably not his fault. I would really have to check the replay. They didn't show the replay too many times, but it kind of seemed like it was mostly Ramsdale's fault. But I you know, just because I have a hard time giving a defender a 9 if there's no clean sheet. It's really that simple. But he had some really nice tackles today. He's a really solid player. Obviously, I'm like spoiled acting like we didn't have freaking Mustafi for like 5 years. Oh my goodness. I mean, if Mustafi played the previous game and then Saliba played this game, I probably would have given him a 10. But you know, I'm just keeping it real right now. So Gabriel 8-2. Thought he had a really good game. Thought he was way more composed this game. Looks solid. I really like Gabriel's energy, man. He's one of those guys that just kind of like plays with a real passion, and I like that. I like that. A lot of the Brazilian players seem to just play with passion. It makes me kind of understand why they've been so successful, like internationally. It just seems like they play with a bit more passion than everyone else sometimes. And yeah, I just really like that from Gabriel. He was very solid today. Really didn't do a whole lot wrong. But again, you know, if you don't get a clean sheet, I got to give you like an 8 or below. Tierney, solid. Not great going forward. I think he'll get better as he gets more playing time. I know he hasn't played in a while, but his defending is solid as usual. So I'll give him an 8. And of course, you know, Tierney's a gift because you know, a lot of teams, if you're missing a starter, it's a huge regression. But playing Tierney is not a regression at all. He is a starter quality player. We just happen to have 2 starters at left back. Xhaka gets an 8 for me. What I like about Xhaka is he didn't have the greatest game. But he contributed to the first goal. What I like about Xhaka is he's just a midfielder that plays some offense, almost like a Luka Modric, like a center midfielder that just plays some offense. Like I like that about Xhaka. He tracks back, and maybe it's just a structure of the team. Like maybe Sambi in this game or Partey usually plays a little bit more defensively. I'm sure there's like real tactics to it that Arteta puts out, but I like how forward moving Xhaka is, and his passes weren't crispy, but I thought he had a solid game. And again, I like his energy too. I like how he competes. A little bit quiet from him, but overall solid game from Xhaka. typical game from Xhaka. And I'm always a supporter of Xhaka. I think he's very consistent. And again, when your midfielders contribute goals and assists, man, it really makes a huge difference on the season. I always say that. So Sambi gets a 6 for me. Yeah, maybe I'm being a little harsh, but I thought for a debut, usually when players debut as a start, I see a little bit more from them. It seemed like him and El Nini almost have the exact same play style where it's just simple passes, but nothing risky, not a lot of dribbling, just simple little touches and passes. Very boring. I feel like if we had Sambi playing instead of Xhaka, dude, we might have lost this game. If we had two Sambis, I'm not a huge fan, man. I'll be honest. I love all Arsenal players. Well, that's not true, but I wish Sambi would have been a little bit more aggressive. But this is the first time I've seen him play, and I remember thinking, I was like, this is the first time I really seen him play like a full game in the Premier League. But then they were like, oh yeah, this is the first game he started, and I was like, okay. Usually when players like I said, when players are in their debuts, they bring some energy, some heat, some enthusiasm, whether they play good or not. I just didn't see that from him. He seems like a El Nini 2.0, and that's. I was actually asking for El Nini midway through the game. I was like, just put in El Nini at this point. He's a slightly better version of Sambi. I think he's hurt though. My goodness, can we please sign another center midfielder? And honestly, guys, I think if the center midfield play was better, we would have won probably 3 or 4-1. I think our forward and wing play was excellent. We defended well. I think the center midfield play was just lackluster, really. And Sambi was a big part of that. So, and Odegaard didn't have the best game either. He was kind of getting beat up out there. I thought he should have got subbed out a little bit earlier. And I'll get to that with my assessment of Arteta today. But I thought he had an okay game, but it was kind of average by his standards. It wasn't quite clicking like it has been in the last couple games. But I'll give him an 8 just off the. I like his defensive effort. I like his pressing. He still was dangerous. So I'll give him an 8. Didn't have a horrible game, Martinelli gets an 8.5. Again, I thought our wing and forward play was excellent this game. I thought that basically won us the game, other than our defensive play. But Martinelli continues to shine again, man. It always amazes me how football works. You pay millions for players, and then you have some players that just come through out of almost nowhere and just start balling out and really make a difference. Basically, Martinelli and Saka kind of came from absolutely nowhere. Same with Saliba. So that's how it is sometimes. And that's the beauty of the game sometimes. But Martinelli, man, just if he can just play every game for us, I mean, just what he does, man. He reminds me of I kind of I like his shameless style. He kind of reminds me of actually me when I used to play. He reminds me a little bit of myself. In that he just works really hard on the field. Isn't afraid to do something silly, competes the whole time, plays with some real passion. I like Martinelli. There's a lot to like about Martinelli. I feel like, man, if Martinelli was just a little bit faster, if he just had a little bit more athleticism, man, he'd be a phenomenal player. But he's still a great player. There's a lot to like about him, but what I always see consistently from him is that energy, that passion, that willing to drive and score, and it pushes us over the edge. It pushed us over the edge in several games. The Crystal Palace game, especially, it's pushed us over the edge on several different occasions. Leicester game, he's really making a name for himself at Arsenal, man. I'm real proud of him. And he's still got a lot of time with Arsenal, so that's very exciting, man. If he can continue to improve, he's going to be a great player for us for a long time. Jesus gets a 9 for me. He's my man of the match. I thought he was great, man. He really fought up there. What I like about Jesus, again, these Brazilian players, man, they play with some passion, man. They fight, man. Jesus wasn't the biggest guy. He's not the biggest striker, but he be winning the ball. He really fights up there, man. He really doesn't he doesn't play small like Lacazette, bro. That was my problem with Lacazette. It seemed like he just would never work on his physicality like at all. Jesus reminds me of a more athletic Lacazette. Like, I don't think Lacazette has any less talent than Jesus. I just feel like Jesus probably just works a little bit harder on his game. I think he just plays with a little bit more like intensity and just like physicality. That's the only difference I'd say between the two. But also I love how Jesus dribbles. He's like, y'all see how Jesus dribbles? He's like, oh, it's so funny. Yeah, Jesus is a great signing. I mean, bro, we'd probably be like 3-3 this season had we not signed Jesus, or like 2-4, dude. I don't even know at this point. It's funny because I'd be like, well, Jesus has probably been the best signing this year. You'd probably argue that's Haaland, but he's there. It's them too. It seems like the best strikers this season have been transfers. It's been that type of a season. But yeah, shout out to Jesus, man. Just keep it up, man. I'm so glad Jesus signed with Arsenal, man. Like exactly what we needed, man. Some better striker play. Saka 8.5. Saka was just dribbling and dibbling and dabbling. I think once he just gets his final touch a little bit sharper, he still got another assist. Of course, dude. Everyone criticizes him, but I'm like, dude, do you guys not see like the goals and assists, the assists he tallies up? Like, these are wins. Like, these are differences between wins and losses. Like, no, Saka's fine. I was arguing with people on YouTube about how freaking people think Pepe is better than Saka. I'm like, bro, like, and this is a shout out to the YouTubers that I was specifically arguing with. I was like, bro, like, seriously, like, no professional pundit would ever say that on TV. You would get flamed to the absolute fullest. Like, that's one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard. But anyways, like, people really just be criticizing this dude like Pepe's better than him. I'm like, come on, man. Please stop. Please stop. Saka was breaking ankles like the whole game, dude. He reminds me a little bit of Messi, dude. He reminds me of Messi, but with less athleticism and, you know, less of shooting, less really athleticism, dude. I feel like great dribblers are usually very athletic, but I've seen some great, not less athletic dribblers like Saka, and Jadon Sancho is a real good dribbler, and he's not that fast. It's kind of interesting to see, but Saka just be breaking ankles out there, man. He was just like dipping and diving, man. If that final pass and ball was just there. But again, dude, I kind of like blame the midfield play, dude. I just think if the midfield play was just a little bit better, it would have just made everything click a little easier, dude. Like, I just feel like sometimes when you really desperately need a goal, you always try a little bit too hard. Like, if instead you were up 2-0 or you're getting more chances, you're not trying as hard. Like, but yeah, good game from Saka. Proud of my boy. Nketiah gets an 8.5, man. I criticized him, I remember, 2 games ago because I thought he came on and looked kind of lackluster. The last game he played, he made a big difference. He basically won us the game with his energy. And in this game, I thought he was great. I thought his hold-up play was good. Even at the end, he tried to, like, take a shot on goal. I thought he was, like, Thierry Henry out there. I think he does wear 14, doesn't he? Thought he was Henry out there. Yeah, Nketiah had a solid game. I always judge subs. Like, I don't give them a benefit of doubt just because they've been on a short time. Like, I give them like a full rating. So yeah, he gets an 8.5. I thought he came on and looked really, really active. So he's a good option, man. He's a good option. I probably would have liked to see him come on a little bit earlier, actually, because the thing with Jesus, man, Jesus gives it his all, man. So I think Jesus was tired about the 70th minute, 65th. I probably would have put Nketiah on a little bit earlier, but nonetheless, Holding gets an 8. I thought we had overall very good substitution play today, and I think Holding played solid. He didn't play long, but he made some good. I saw he made a really good header clearance, and that was one of those key moments, man, in the 80 plus, because obviously that last 10 minutes is very important to the overall frame of the game. I thought he came on and he looked solid, made smart challenges, didn't do anything stupid. So I give him an 8 for that. Smith Rowe 7.5, kind of passive. I think he should have came on earlier, so I don't fully blame him for that. He didn't play much, and I think he was just put in just to play defense basically. But 7.5 is pretty much bang average. Smith Rowe, yeah, man. I mean, I always feel like I need to see a little bit more from him, but overall he had a pretty solid performance. And I'm just worried about this next one being blocked off. Yes, it is blocked off. Dang it. Well, I remember what I gave him. Tomi Yasu gets a 9. He obviously not man of the match. He only played for 20 minutes, but I thought he should have came on a little bit earlier. Tomi Yasu is here to stay, man. He looks like he wants to play. He looked really good today, actually. I thought he was fantastic. He is the most violent tackler, man. I swear. Every time I see him make tackles, it's just it's a certain power to his tackles, man. And I think he showed that he can attack a little bit today. He showed he can be that fullback, that new age fullback that can also attack. I saw a little bit of that from him. I think he has a little bit more in his engine than Tierney at times. I think Tierney's looked kind of lackluster going forward at times, but Tomi looked solid just overall. I thought he was. I think he's in. He's representing Japan, man. He's representing Asia, which I always find is cool. He brings a new flavor to the team. I think he just plays hard, man. There's a lot to like about Tomiyasu, dude. He a big boy too, man. Tomiyasu would scare me if I was playing, dude. He's just big, physical, quick, smart, dude. He's a good player, man. He young too, man. Our that position is good. I wouldn't be that upset if he plays against United, although that's a big game. But yeah, I thought he had a good game. Arteta, man, gets a 7 for me. So Arteta, this is just based on game management, because obviously how he prepared the team before the game and all that, and practices, he's doing a great job. I mean, that's pretty obvious with the record right now. But I just thought he makes subs a little bit too late sometimes, almost like he's afraid to make subs. I think he just needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe take a page out of Pep's book, because I think Pep always just subs like it's no big deal. I think Arteta just needs to do a little bit of that. I think Odegaard especially, I think should have came off 10, 15 minutes earlier. Jesus probably 10 minutes earlier. The longer you wait, it's almost like you have players in just because you don't want to make them upset or something like that. Are they really bringing the energy we need right now? I don't know. And I think certain players like Martinelli can play the whole game. Asaka maybe, and still be really effective. But you got to make some subs. Especially in these new rules where you get 5 subs, use them. I think Odegaard got hurt at one point. I was dude, I would have taken him off 10 minutes earlier. I definitely would have had Smith Rowe give me 30 minutes in the second half just playing offense, not 10 minutes playing defense. Tomi, I think the Tomi sub was about right, actually. Yeah, Rob Holding. I mean, yeah, Nketiah, I probably put Nketiah in 5-10 minutes earlier. Things like that. But overall, maybe I think I gave him a 7.5. Actually, you just can't really see it. I think that about sums it up. It's a win, but it was also against Aston Villa at home. So losing or drawing to Aston Villa at home would be kind of a really bad result. But got the win. So these are my player ratings, guys. Shout out to Arsenal, man. Oh, ref gets a 10. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about the ref. I actually thought he was great. And usually when refs have great performances, you don't notice them. But I noticed him. I thought he was looking solid out there, dude. No stupid VR moments. Just play on. He had some play ons. He was refereeing really well out there. I was kind of impressed, actually. Yeah, he was great out there, man. I would almost watch that referee tape, dude, if I could, man. That was very solid. So this is how the table looks. I want to end this video at 20 minutes for watching purposes. But, yeah, this is how the table looks now, guys. Go Arsenal. Next we play Manchester United this Sunday. Yes, sir. All right, let's get it, y'all. Go Gunners. Peace out.